この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight episode 4. Last week we watched episode 3 and a whole lot of stuff happened in it, so let's talk about it before we go ahead and dive on into episode... Fuck me, screw this intro. I'm not gonna do it again. Screw it. God damn it, every time there's always something. You have no idea, sitting on that side of the screen, how many times I redo the intro because I screw it up in the first, 5 seconds. Something catches in my throat, or my voice cracks when I say alrighty. It happens all the time. So many intros I restart. It's ridiculous. But anyway, we're not going to restart this one because I'm already in too deep and I've revealed too much of what is behind the curtain. So let's just dive in and talk about what happened in episode 3. So, episode 3 focuses pretty heavily on Maya Tendo, and that becomes very, very, very important as the episode goes on. But we actually start off with Banana. Banana is moving away from the actor side of things, essentially forfeiting her spot in the spotlight, which we found out by the end of the episode is something that she actually had. She was ranked 3rd, just behind Maya and Claudine, the sort of untouchable goddesses of this crew. So Banana was really good, and her decision to go behind the scenes is taken interestingly by the other girls. It starts off with immediate shock, and then eventually once she explains things, they kind of get behind her and start like, okay, yeah, all right, Banana, we're still here for you, we love you. And, this is really, really accented or accentuated, that would be the word I'm looking for, by scenes of background characters, scenes of people working in the background doing stagecraft and playwriting and passing scripts around. And it's really shocking. I've gone through the episode that we watched last week a couple of times, maybe more than a couple of times. And I ended up writing out a bunch of the realizations that I had as I was going through it later, because there's so much stuff packed into this show that there's just no way that I'm going to get it all on the first pass, and I'm going to pick up on other things and reinterpret things as I think about it later, and as I go back to scenes and check them, like, wait, was that the way that I thought it was, or was it different? One of the big scenes that really changed when I watched it again was the sequence where we get a couple of the girls working in the background in episode 3, and it's really freaky. It's actually kind of scary and weird and not okay. Specifically the way that those background characters are silenced. They are made mute by the rest of the show. And in the sense that, this show is a play within a play, a stage within a stage, and our observational point is whatever is on stage at the time. These characters in the background, while they exist, they don't have speaking roles. They don't get to talk. They don't get to change the story in any way. They don't have any impact. They don't share the spotlight in any sense. And what we see is this sequence where it's very, very clear, and I'll edit it in. I'll make a note for it. Edit shit in. Hopefully editing me remembers that I wrote that note, but he won't, but he will. Okay. I'll edit it in here and we'll talk about it, but there's this scene where we see a girl standing holding a script, and another girl runs up to her, and we hear the click clack of her heels, of her shoes on the brick floorway that she's walking on or running on, because she runs up to her. And then we cut into a close-up of the two of them, right? A dialogue shot. We go from establishing shot to dialogue shot, and there's mumbling and milling in the background of all the other behind-the-scenes girls. But when we cut to the dialogue shot, at the exact moment when the character who ran up starts opening her mouth, instead we get a stage girl doing voiceover. That character on screen does not get to speak. It is silenced. And it's really freaky because we set the scene up as though we're entering into a dialogue scene with these characters that we haven't met yet, but we're not. We're just using them as fill visuals while our actual characters tell us what's going on through narration voiceover. That's horrifying, and it gives us an interesting context to this choice that Banana has made. She is moving out of the spotlight, essentially essentially making herself a background character, and that's not good. I mean, it could be for her, but in the context of our show and what we get to see, it's not good. There's another little interesting wrinkle to Banana moving away from the actor position, and that is that we see her in the OP in a dueling outfit with very distinctive two like scimitars or swords. So she's going to end up fighting. She's going to end up in the competition. Why? If she's bowing out of the acting thing, then why would she be in auditions, right? Unless it's not that easy to get away. And that kind of rings true because it rings true with some of the actions that Hikari has been taking and the kind of apologetic thing that she has toward Karen that seems to be like, I don't want to get you involved in this because maybe you can't get out. It's interesting. So that was all just about one line of my notes, which is Nana moving behind the scenes, but we see her in a dueling outfit. Dense. This show is fucking dense. Like, surface level, character Banana chooses to move away from the thing that is the core focus of most of the girls in this school and to bow out of the competitive aspect of it. That's the whole thing. But there are all of these layers that add context to it and add information to her decision. Fuck. Okay. So we move from there to an outside sequence with the gazebo, where we start strongly associating Maya with the statue that's in the courtyard, which is the Venus de Milo, and is, of course, a depiction of perfect beauty, and a very famous statue depicting perfect beauty. It's Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and love. And Maya Tendo, our beautiful position zero, who owns it and earns it and wins it, who is the queen of the stage girls, is very much associatable with the Venus. It makes a lot of sense. The Venus association means more than that, though. Venus is an ideal, right? It's the peak, the pinnacle. And it's even beyond that because it's an impossible ideal. It's not a shadow, but a reality. And if we're continuing to talk about like allegory of the cave, which we can, the ideal is one thing, but then the shadow of the ideal in its current form is Maya Tendo, the current lead of the hierarchy, the current queen bee. And by association, that means that the Aphrodite, the Venus de Milo, represents the entire hierarchy that Maya is atop, right? Because she's the pinnacle of what that hierarchy can create, what the competitive element can build in a person. And so the statue itself represents her, but it also represents the whole of the school. It also represents the machinery and the system that underlies it, that underlies Maya's power and her success. So we get this really important sequence, I think. It's kind of a throwaway where a particular paper plane is unleashed, and then it floats around, and then it comes smack dab into the statue of the Venus and falls to Earth. In my initial pass of the episode, I took this as pretty simple, and I think that this is a correct interpretation of the airplane sequence, which is Karen's an airplane, she's floating on the wind, she doesn't really have goals of her own. She runs into the cold, calm, collected statue upon a pedestal, which represents Maya Tendo, and is beaten into the ground, just summarily destroyed. But there's more to it than that, too. First off, the sequence where we're introduced to the airplane, well, kind of the second sequence where we're introduced to the airplane, is a direct match cut between Claudine whipping her head up at the realization that Maya is in the room and the airplane moving in the same direction. So we get this association visually that the airplane also represents Claudine, and when it hits the wall that is Maya, essentially, we could say that Claudine's feelings are doing the same thing. Or that her pride and her willingness and her desire to be the top star is also hitting that same kind of wall, which works on the same level for Claudine as it does for Karen and functions on both of them, and I think they're both correct interpretations. Then there's a third layer, which is that, like, who threw the paper plane? Because that isn't the first time we see the paper plane. By that point, the paper plane is already flying around, right? It's already in the air. When we first see the paper plane, it's in a really wide shot where two of the girls from the previous sequence where backstage girls were talking or not talking, two of those girls are sitting having a picnic on the lawn, being overshadowed by the Venus, and one of them tosses the paper airplane. So the paper plane could be Karen, and it could be Claudine, and it could be the entirety of everybody who isn't top star. Everybody who sets their hopes and dreams toward that top position and doesn't make it because they're not good enough, boom, slap down, smack down into the ground. I think it functions on all three levels, and I don't think any one of them is more right than the others. And I think that's really cool because when you overload your symbolism like that, you get like varied interpretations. You get the kind of nebulous but powerful symbolic like meaning that you get from Ikuhara shows, where certain elements mean many, many things, whether they're penguins or hearts or red orbs or whatever it is. They mean something, right? And they mean multiple things in an Ikuhara show, and the context within which you view them changes your interpretation of the whole show, or it can. And that means rewatch value, and that means rethink value, even more than that, just ponder value, that you can sit there and think about Revue Starlight for a while and go, huh, that's another idea or another line of thinking about the way this scene functions that's completely different and changes my interpretation of things. And I think that's really fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. Okay, so that was all about the second line of my notes, which is Maya equals Venus. That's the whole line of notes. Fuck. Then we have Maya and Claudine, scenes from the past, and Claudine's refusal to give up in her pursuit of the top star position. And I didn't really... I'm disappointed in my initial reading of this scene. I don't think I read it properly. Maya defeats Claudine and then reaches out to her. Essentially like, yep, I'm top star, but we can still be friends or something, right? We can be the top two. You'll just be second fiddle to me, and it'll be fine. Claudine refuses. She gives that up. She says, I still haven't lost. That's interesting. How that plays into Maya's later line about, like, she sacrificed something, I'm still confused on. I'm just still not sure. But okay. Now we're moving a little bit faster through the notes, thank God. Then we get some scenes with Claudine and Futaba, and some scenes with Ruko and Mahiru. These are juxtaposed and definitely, like, meant to be viewed together. There are some interesting scenes. Claudine taking on the leading role in the dance that she forces upon Futaba, and then showing some genuine friendship between them. And then there's the Ruko and Mahiru scene, which is like a completely different situation. It's maybe the first time that we genuinely got fan servicey in the show, and I don't think I really noted that when I was definitely supposed to, because I know that I said earlier in the show, I think during episode 1 when we got a shower sequence, that I would be on the lookout for whatever point we switched to showing anything from a gazy, fan servicey, looking at bodies perspective. And that's what we had in the last episode. That scene with with Mahiru and Ruko definitely lingered on the physical female form of Ruko and on Mahiru frequently. So it's pretty significant. It gives us a sexual connotation, like a sexual coloration to the whole scene, which is important because, well, in context, it makes sense. It's also kind of freaky and a little weird, and I have questions about that whole sequence. Mostly questions around Ruko. Mahiru, she's relatively simple at the moment. She has a crush on Karen, and it's awkward, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. Ruko infers this and toys with her, and then kind of seemingly weaponizes her to use against Hikari. Why? I don't know. Is Ruko trying to get back at Hikari for something? It doesn't seem to track. Hikari hasn't really done anything to her. It seems more like Ruko's just trying to stir up shit because she wants to, which, I mean, okay. But I'd like to know more about that and understand why that happened. Okay. Then we had Hikari locking Karen into a shed in a desperate attempt to prevent her from going to the auditions. She fails. It doesn't work. Karen gets away sneakily. And then Karen demonstrates some significant arrogance. I'll be back when I win. No problem. I got this. And then she actually fights Maya, and it is a fucking wash, just like the paper airplane. Maya questions everything that has been driving Karen. Where the fuck is your resolve? Stop showing me this half-hearted resolve, and calls her out on the problems with her motivations. She has half-hearted resolve. Her idea of two people standing at the top of the pyramid doesn't make sense in the current context. Something dramatic has to change in order for that to be even an achievable goal. There's also the issue that she hasn't communicated with Hikari in any way on this, and has been striving toward this goal for the both of them without understanding whether the person she's striving for toward it for actually wants it. So shit. All right, and then at that point, once she has been crushed, we get the tower looming over everything, the promises of focusing on our core motivations, and the final ending scene, which gave us Mr. Giraffe and told us that the next episode is going to be called Promise Tower. So, what do I want from the next episode? I want a flashback. I want to go back in time to Babby Karen and Babby Hikari, and I want to know what the fuck their promise was, what the context of it was, how it happened, how they saw it differently, how they developed differently, what happened to Hikari in the meantime. I want to know all the things. I want to know all of these things, and I want to know how Karen is going to change. How is her motivation going to change in order to enable her to actually have something worth fighting for, something genuinely worth fighting for? Or will it not? And will she just realize that there's like a better reason for her to go about doing things the exact same way? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. But this episode is going to be called Promise Tower, and it promises that we will find out what the fuck happened at the tower. Question: if we do get a flashback, how reliable will it be? Will we get an omniscient perspective, or will we get a perspective through Karen's lens? Will we see this interaction and promise the way that she sees it, and how much of it will be true? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how reliable Karen will be as a narrator if that's the situation we find ourselves in. Okay, this has been a long fucking intro. I think it's necessary. I genuinely think it's necessary, partly because there are some important things that I realized in the meantime, and partly because for me personally, going through all these thoughts and just getting started talking about them puts me in the zone and puts me in the mindset to talk about what's about to come at us through the screen via Revue Starlight. So, worth it. Let's watch episode 4 of Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. I am once again using the Ripple subs. Thanks, Gail. You're the best. I'm using the no Romaji version so that they don't fuck with me with a million lines of dialogue on screen while songs are happening. I will probably do the same thing that I've done before in the last episode, where I'll go back and look at song lyrics and stuff if there's anything that I have questions on or that I wasn't able to pay attention to, and I'll try to pay attention more to the visual things and things that are actually going on screen during the songs and battles and things, assuming that we actually get a review and an audition in this episode, which I assume we will. So, what audition would we get at the end of this? I don't really know. I feel like thematically a Karen versus Hikari might work, but we don't know what we're gonna get, so I don't know. Let's watch this episode. I've got episode 4 up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy of this episode with the timer-based version on YouTube, you're welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you now. Okay. Hello, baby Karen. That is what I wanted to see. Okay, and it's the same through, and they're on top. With Maya and Claudine just below. Okay. Two stars, one above the other. Okay, watching together. This is impossible, because Starlight was written like 2 years ago. Okay. Still all one-sided. There's our slap. Here's our scene. Fucking awesome. Oh, hi, good morning. Oh, hi. Where's Hikari? Is she just already up and out? Because she wakes up on time and you don't? Probably. It's kind of funny. We're not puppets on a stage being made to dance by fate, but so far you are exactly that. I mean, that may be what you're rebelling against, and that may be the point of the line, but a promise from so long ago in hand? And there's Nana fighting with two swords. That shot's so cool. I'll give that a praise. Okay, this is a very light start to an episode that is absolutely not what I expected. Uh No, I don't think so. Not down there. God, that's a lot of glimmers. All right. Oh, hi. Everyone united by Karen being annoying. Too real. You know where she is? That would probably be smart. The number you have reached is no longer in service. Train? Is she leaving? Is she trying to leave? No, she's trying to leave. You did the thing she didn't want you to do. Stay the hell away from me, or I'll stab you. Is that the aquarium? No, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, it is the aquarium. Okay, so she's already there. Okay. Bingo. Nice. Good job, little one. Hmm. But she's still giving her details. She's still giving her crumbs. She wants her to find her. That's interesting. She's not trying to avoid her completely. She's just playing coy. Weird. Yeah. She already left. Aw, fuck. Alright, third time's... Okay, we're here. Third time's the charm. I think she's scavenger hunting you to Tokyo Tower. That's my guess. Oh. Okay, that's not helpful at all. I don't know either. Okay, that's different though. She's lost too. Wow, that color is awesome. Our Starlight. It's true. Just put tatamis in your dorm. Hmm. I mean, yeah. Ha 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 ha. I don't think so. Oh. Oh, hello, Baton. Oh, hello. Okay. But it's on the right line. Fear the propeller. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. So maybe Karen versus... Maybe. Euros? Pounds? Depends. Euros or pounds, depending on time. This is like the first conversation they've really had. Mr. White is the little fluffy thing that she likes, right? And we're jumping through the conversation. It's not coherent. Yeah, all the things they've never talked about. Whoa. Wow, we were worried the other direction. Okay. I guess they kind of are on the same page now. Position 0. Hello, tower. Are they both heading there? Independently? She is here. Hi. What are you up to, Claudine? Pushing yourself? Hi. Oops, same cut again. Oh? Okay. Okay. The digital equipment is special. Okay. Oh, they're already closed. Fuck. Hey? You would have forfeited. Oh, jeez. What, for trying? Okay. Okay. And up the hierarchy she climbs. Right. Right. You're an idiot. Nantoka. What if you gave the best review together though? Okay. Okay. Great scene. And cut to audition. Red and Underground? Nope. Okay. Oh, they're uh-oh, curfew check. Is she gonna cover? Is she gonna try and cover? Aww. Oh, they're all. Aww. Now they have to. They have to bring them to the other rooms so that they don't get marked absent either. Cue Benny Hill theme. Oh, I seem to be entirely better. Wow. Huh. Nice. Oh. Oh, she sat out there all night. Oh no, and they stayed out all night. Oh no. She's gonna murder somebody. This is bad. Oh yeah, I think it's okay. It seems to be alright. Never mind. Jesus, that's a bed. Yeah, AM. Fuck on in. Okay, we're like close to the end of the episode. There's no audition? Okay. Oh. Oh. The what? Is it the anglerfish dance? Strong anglerfish dance vibes. That's what's important. But a nice one. Okay. Mr. White and a jellyfish to add on. And fly me to the stars. This was a weird episode. Because it's completely different than every other episode. What? Hot. Looks like if there's an after credits, it's like 5 seconds, so... The whereabouts of Glimmer. Ooh. Ooh, where is Glimmer located? Where does it come from? Who has it? It's an important question. This was an important episode. But a strange episode. Heavily focused on Hikari and Karen. And it does what I asked for, kind of. Flashback and reaffirm motivations. What I didn't expect at all was the way that this would play out. That she would eventually get in contact. And that after chasing Hikari around town for a while, they'd eventually end up on the phone. Eventually end up talking. And the way that we see their conversation makes it clear that there's a lot of time passing between each line. It's set up so that we jump from one to the other in dialogue sometimes. Or that we'll jump from, like, Karen speaking in one scene to Karen speaking in another scene. But all throughout, they're catching up. They're finally communicating. And they're not communicating about the important stuff. They're communicating about the things that they've missed together. The plays that they've seen, the things that they've seen that they should go and show each other sometime in the future. And as they talk, the sun goes down. And this is the surprising thing. Because we thought so too, didn't we? We thought Karen was the only one who remembered the promise. It turns out they both remember the promise, and they're both into it, and they're both on that path, but they haven't communicated that with each other until this point. So it was empty, right? A hollow promise. Because neither of them knew if the person on the other end of it was actually still in. Now they do. That's the core of what happened in this episode. Hikari and Karen finally communicated. They're on the same page. But that's not enough. So they make their way to Tokyo Tower, the real one. And instead of glowing red, it is golden and glorious. With a little red light at the peak. Bling! Does it feel to anyone else like there's far more glimmer over the course of this episode? I mean, the pink dots. Feels like they're everywhere in this one. I mean, they're everywhere in previous episodes, but they're like everywhere. Like every shot has one or two. It's crazy. Okay, we go from there to Maya and Claudine. They talk. You can't lose. If you lose, you'll lose. Okay, you'll lose what's most important to us as stage. What's the exact phrasing? You'll lose what's most important to you as a stage girl. And then she responds, what's most important to us? I think there's actually a clear distinction. One possibility is that Hikari is saying you'll lose what is most important to you in particular, the thing about being a stage girl that you in particular hold most dear. Or she could be saying you'll lose the thing that all stage girls hold most dear. I'm not sure which. Is it universal or personal? In terms of the loss. If it's universal, then it's you lose the chance to be top star or something like that. If it's more personal, then it's maybe you lose your relationship with me or something else. I don't know. Weird. I won't lose again, she says. Up she climbs, mirroring the hierarchy in the staircase itself. And it's a teensy-tiny tower in front of the big tower. So they're just one step above the ground, but framing is important, and this framing is very important. Essentially, it looks like they're in an elevator in the middle of the tower, right? Once they're together, they're in that centerpiece. But looking out from our new little perch toward what is above, and it's still far off in the distance. It's still very much higher than we are. This whole sequence is very fun, very goofy, very cute, and just the fact that all the girls are ending up looking out for them is important and I think cool. I think it's also interesting that like none of the stuff that happened in the last episode seems to have any impact, and I'm a little bit confused by that. Like the whole Kaoruko thing, no clue. I mean, the conversation that Kaoruko has with Futaba is colored by previous stuff in the previous episode, but no idea. Hikari doesn't seem to be antagonistic toward. I'm sorry. Mahiru doesn't seem to be antagonistic toward Hikari. Not really. Weird. Just strange. And everybody welcomes them home and tries to help cover. And then gets in trouble anyway. So then we've got this big build-up on this hazing thing, which I'm sure will be fun, because it's real close to the anglerfish dance setup. Something really goofy that is punishment. I don't know. Welcome back. Tadaima. We plop it down and go into the ED. All right. So, first episode with no conflict, really. And really, there isn't a conflict in this episode, like at all, right? Yeah, there really isn't one. It's just that they want to talk to each other and they end up talking to each other. It just takes some time. Everybody is helpful. At the end, nobody's competing. There's no audition. Everybody welcomes them home. Everybody is glad that they're safe. Almost everybody contributes to trying to cover for them. It seems like a team for the first time. It seems like a crew, like a troop. Interesting. Okay. That seems way too simple. Maybe it is just that simple. Maybe it's just that simple, and that's the whole take on the episode, minus little things that are scattered in between. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that that's all there is here. I'm gonna go through the episode again. I'll see you in a bit. This might take some time. Okay. Okay, first thing that I want to note, although I'm still going through the episode, is just some staff stuff. Episode director and storyboarder for this episode is Masayuki Kojima, who is somebody whose name you might recognize, being a guy who directed a tiny little show called Monster. You may have heard of it. Little tiny madhouse show. You know, nothing special. Also directed a teensy tiny little show nobody's probably heard of. It's super obscure. It's called Made in Abyss. I don't think anybody knows what that is, but yeah, he's the guy who storyboarded an episode, directed this episode, as well as episode 2, as well as we'll see him again in episodes 9 and 10. So that's pretty neat. Just wanted to mention that because it's kind of cool. Anyway, gonna continue going through the episode and looking for details. Okay, let's give this a shot. No promises. We open with this dream sequence. It's pretty clearly a dream sequence as soon as we see that Hikari and Karen are at the top of the stairs, and they're at the top together, sharing 2 spotlights in the intersection of them, with the tower above. We get the same voiceover that we've had before, the same reaching out toward the star that we've had before, but it's 2 hands reaching. And then we have the starlight glow and grow, glimmer too bright, and it overwhelms Karen. Then she's hit by beams from all directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Representative of the 6 others out of the 8? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe unimportant. But she's hit by all of these lights. Her cloak falls, indicating loss or death. Her stare descends, and Hikari's rises at the same time. And as she falls, the stars in the background become brighter. They clearly are the same as the hairpin that Hikari has, right? They're the same 2 stars, just red instead of white. And the tiara at the top is not visible. There's no gleam from it. Instead, dust falls from the sky and slips through Hikari's hands, and there are tears in her eyes. Okay, some things. How does this sequence play into the line that Hikari says about losing what's most important to you as a stage girl? And what is most important to you as a stage girl? Universally. Let's take it from the universal perspective instead of the personal perspective. As a stage girl, I think the most important thing is the ability to succeed, right? What enables that? Skill, talent, right? Ability. The only thing that enables you to climb the hierarchy, to climb the stairs. So this opening shows us the 2 of them sharing the top of the pedestal, and then it shows us one of them being overwhelmed by being at the top and cast down. The staircase that they stand atop of is split, and as Karen's lowers, Hikari's is raised. Okay. Simple answer. By defeating other stage girls, you grow your own influence and reputation. Okay? Simple answer. By winning in combat or in one of the auditions, you move yourself up the ranks. That's simple. That makes sense. And in a sense, you lower other people down the ranks as well. You reduce their reputation, their ability. What if it's worse than that, though? What if it's more than that? Because that doesn't quite ring with what stage girls find most important, right? It doesn't quite click. What if it's more sinister than that? What if you lose, like, your talent and it's, like, transferred? I know that's wonky, but what if the whole idea is to do the same thing that we do in reality? Like, in reality, you have you have these rivalries and this competitive environment amongst a troop. They're all working toward the same goal, but they're rivals, and that rivalry, that clash, causes some of them to be elevated by coming up against the others, right? So having a group practicing together and competing against each other is one way to funnel talent into your stars, into your best people, right? Maya improves by being around Claudine and being around everybody else because she has somebody to compete against and somebody to prove herself against. All of their talent helps accentuate and bolster her talent. It forces her to get better. What if it's more sinister, though? What if it physically, actually removes the talent from the individual and gives it to the other? It seems a little far-fetched. I don't know. I don't know. But this is the scene that we get. The sparkly dust falls from the sky in a spotlight, and they grasp their hands. Let's go become shining stars together. And smack, and awaken, and the dream is over. And suddenly, we are searching for Karen. I'm sorry, we are searching for Hikari. She's gone. She's packed up all her shit and left. Question. Was she actually planning on leaving? Or was this just a walkabout? I don't know. I don't know if we get enough to know. But she left without telling anybody where she was going. She packed up all her stuff into her suitcase. It seems like she's running. Actually leaving. That was the first impression that I got, and I think that it's right. I think she was planning on leaving. And I think it has to do with Karen's loss. She thought she was going to lose Karen. She was scared. Interesting. So, Karen runs around like a chicken with her head cut off, searching for Hikari and failing to find her. There is this shot of Nana and... Oh, Jesus. Yep. Running around, going crazy places, freaking everybody out. Everybody's pissed at her for doing this, but they all do cover for her, which is nice. And she eventually gets on the phone, gets a call, and starts off going. So then Hikari eventually starts sending her these sort of difficult selfies. She gives her this weird scavenger hunt, which is weird. It's kind of passive-aggressive-y a little bit, and it's also kind of flirty and adventurous and fun and goofy. I really like it. It's cute. It's I don't know. It's romantic almost. In a weird, adventurous way. There's something else to it. If she was really thinking about leaving, about running, really leaving, then maybe she was holding out hope that maybe Karen would be able to find her and convince her otherwise. She wants to be found, but she also wants Karen to work for it, So we get all of these different selfie pictures of the jellyfish behind her, which we know are jellyfish. My immediate thought was aquarium, and specifically the aquarium at the tower, because I know that exists. It's right there. So that was my first thought. But that's not actually where she is. She's moving around too, and she's fucking with Karen by sending her pictures of different aquariums that she goes to, and going to different aquariums so that she can't track her down. But there's something else that's interesting, which is that, this is the way that they've been failing to communicate since the beginning. They just communicate past each other. Hikari says something or shows her something, and Karen assumes other things about it. She assumes that she knows where it is. Oh, I know where that is. It's there. It's the rock climbing. Oh, shit, it's not the rock climbing gym. She went to the wrong place. That wasn't it. Give me another clue. There are also a lot of shots of buildings looming. This one in particular really reminds me of some shots from Penguin Drum around... Shit, what's her name? I forget her name. Red hair. Curly orange red hair. I don't remember her name. Fuck. Yeah, reminds me of shots with her. Big looming buildings. It's interesting. Why the sudden interest in jellyfish, I wonder? Really don't know. So we bounce our way around, find different aquariums, and we end up following in her footsteps, chasing after her. Bits and pieces. And we see this moment. She's held on to that photo too. It's important to her too. There is a chance for them. And she ends up spending all her fucking money. God damn it. And it's not the right place. Again, following in her footsteps, ending up at the exact same bench, not knowing that Hikari was sitting there just moments before. And eventually, finally, they kind of start to talk. They start to address the serious thing at the core. Why did you lose? And up until this point, it's seemed like Hikari knows everything about the reviews, about the audition process, about all of it. And here she reveals that she doesn't. She's kind of just as confused as we are, as Karen is. Why did you lose? Sorry, I feel like I didn't even manage to stand on the same stage. I don't know what to do. What should I have done? And her answer is, I don't know. I just know that you're stupid. But she doesn't know what to do either. They're actually on the same page. And so finally she calls. And she gets through. I love the color of this scene. It's divided really cleanly by this midpoint right here with red below and this blue above. It's super nice. It's the same kind of blue and red that is them, right? Actually, oh shit. Whoa, wait a sec. What color is Karen's messenger background? It's reddish salmon, like her hair. Hikari's is blue. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Oh shit. We got some symbolism built around color. Oh shit. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, and then it doesn't matter anymore. But we show, yeah, this scene of Hikari. It's all red everything. She gets on the phone, blue, boom. Hey. That's kind of neat. Okay, then there's this conversation. They end up coming to the same conclusion, which is that they would have to fight in the end eventually. And Kaoruko kind of teasingly is like, hey, but you'll just let me win, right? Which is pretty fun. And then goofiness. And then this. This is great. Mahiru, the goddess who protects this hallway. I sense wicked intents. And she nails it. Protecting the hallway and protecting Karen, which is great. Spare me! Ooh, but I'm so jealous. I want to be chased after by Karen-chan. Oh! Ooh. Mahiru. This is also... I mean, it's happening as a B-plot, but, like... I said that none of the Mahiru stuff came to bear. Let me clarify. She didn't outwardly express any of the things that happened in the previous episode. I think all those thoughts are still very much there, and I have a feeling that Mahiru is going to fucking explode at some point, and I have to assume that jealousy will be the topic of discussion for the day. But I don't know. Hey, maybe it'll be next episode. We did get 2 distinct mentions of jealousy in this episode. The one with her, and then the one with Maya, where she explains that her reason for being wanting to be top star has something to do with that. Oh, baby. All right. Then we have their conversation, and again, I mentioned it before, but we jump through the conversation. There's never anything coherent about it, never a feel like we're actually seeing the whole thing, and none of the bits and pieces that we get seem to really matter. They're personal things. They're catching up. They're finally communicating, and it's good. Things that they've learned while they've been separated, you know? Talking about the animal mascot that Hikari loves, and the plays and songs that they've seen while they go around and just wander the town and do stuff. And they both find themselves inexorably drawn to Tokyo Tower once night falls. Okay. Then, yeah, they scream out for the stage. Higher, even fiercer. So I'll light the flame again. Ooh, super good. The place of our promise. And we make our way back here. We find Tokyo Tower. It's glorious and gorgeous. I almost said gorgeous, which is an awful sounding word. And they meet. Boom. What's up? What's up? And then we cut from there to a very different interaction with Claudine and Maya. Once again, Maya takes the lead role in their dance, and Claudine doesn't have an answer for her. But she does question her. You already have the top, right? Why do you need the auditions? And her answer is weird. I get jealous easily. That's her answer. How is that an answer? That's how. In the same kind of way that Mahiru is guarding the hallway, she sees herself as a sentinel of the hierarchy, right? I stand at the top. No one may pass me. That's cool. That's cool. You're really greedy. Yes, she is. Okay. So something that I said when we first started discussing the episode, I said there's no review, there's no audition in this episode. I want to rescind that idea, and I want to posit a different idea. There is a review, and it starts right here. Okay, bear with me. This shot is the reason. Okay. Oh, I'm not playing, that's why. Play. You're really greedy. This shot. And it will not pause. VLC? VLC? Nope. Nope, you're gonna be broken. Okay. Does that red look familiar to you? Because it looks real familiar to me. It looks like the same red that Karen falls through when she has changed. The font also looks the same. Or very similar. Okay. What if this is the start of the review? Metaphorically, for the episode. What's different? We're missing a giraffe. We're missing all of the trappings. We're missing the entire underground arena. We're missing the fact that we're in school. We are outside of the hierarchy here. But we're having an audition, a private audition, together. Right? I think we are, because we follow the symbolism of it. Okay. Find ourselves sitting on a bench, which ends up being kind of the equivalent of seats in the audience. Talking. Important stuff. You'll lose what's most important to you as a stage girl. You can't lose. She was afraid of losing her. Awesome. You know everything that I don't, but she doesn't. And that's revealed in this moment where it's realized that if she had actually succeeded in locking her up, she would have had to forfeit. And she wouldn't have learned anything. So we just giggle at it. And then we change. I won't lose again. I'll shine enough to stand on that stage. Intensely and bright enough. Then, the stage girl Ijo Karen is evolving day by the day after all. And she begins to climb this slide. What did the stairs turn into in the previous episode? The thing that sort of sealed the deal for Karen in the episode. Via Maya's influence over the stage that she was on, the stairs, as Karen climbed, or as she was knocked off of the top, they turned into a slide, which ushered her down. Now, she rejects that. She runs straight up the slide. No stairs. There is a ladder, a staircase up to the top, but she chooses not to use it. And then framing-wise, the angle of the slide is off from the angle of the tower behind them. Tower functions as the same piece of imagery here as it does within the reviews and the auditions themselves. Taking an oblique angle to reach the same goal and inviting someone else to come with. So she reaches the top and reaches out. Only one person can pass these auditions. It's impossible. We'll also have to fight. And she says, we'll just have to pass together. It's essentially reject logic to make the impossible possible. Thank you. It's full-on determinatorness. Who cares about the system? We reject it. We rebel. Cool. We just need to pass together. And she's actually got a pretty good logical thing, minus the blah, 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 blah. You just have to try. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Sorry. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. So she climbs. And this sequence is really nice. Boom, boom, boom. Lovely. To the top we go. If we shine the strongest together, I'm sure. I don't know, man. It seems a little bit naive, but maybe. We still have a long way to go. And again, I think this is the most important framing of the episode, most important shot of the episode. Them looking at the journey ahead while standing at the top of a teensy little hill. This also visually mirrors, let me pull up episode 2. I'll just grab episode 2. Point where Karen wins. Where does Karen win? Yep, there. Does that look familiar? I think that looks pretty familiar. Big old red tower in the background, gleaming thing at the top of it. Little mini pedestal at the bottom, spotlight shining upon it. Versus big tower in the background, little pedestal in front of it. Light, darkness, stars. Yeah, I think it works. I think that works. So I don't know. I'm gonna say I think that is a review. I think it's kind of equivalent. Although it is a review without any of the trappings, any of the pretense, any of the institution or the rules or any of that. Which is cool. It's kind of like saying we'll make our own stage with blackjack and hookers. You know? I wonder when Mahiru is going to explode. I'm waiting for it. I also wonder what the deal is with the jellyfish. Why jellyfish? And why do we put so much emphasis on her buying a jellyfish? I don't know. Are jellyfish, is there like any kind of symbolism around them? I don't really know. Okay. Very weird episode because it breaks formula. But I think it breaks formula at a good time in a good way. The defeat by Maya was crushing, and so we needed to have emotional time for Karen to recover. Having that emotional time be her reconnecting to Hikari makes perfect sense. Getting them on the same page and realizing that they both want to fulfill their promise is perfect. I also think that it would be really hard for any actual audition or review to follow Maya's because it was so fucking dope. This feels like a nice break and a really important moment where we can slow down a little bit and take time to focus on character emotions, really. Character emotions, motivations, things like that. And also to demonstrate that despite the rivalry, despite the competition, they are all kind of working together. And they're all kind of on the same team. And they're also all high school girls. They're kind of goofy and they do stupid stuff and they break the rules sometimes and they cover for each other and all get in trouble for it. But they're a team and they're working as a team and they're working together and that's good and cool. And the next episode, the whereabouts of Glimmer. Where does it come from? Where is it located? What is it? I don't know. I do not understand, Kirin. I do not. Cool episode, weird episode, emotional episode, important episode, weird episode. Lots of little confusing things that may or may not be important, like stardust falling from the sky and Hikari grasping at it, or the two staircases moving in unison. It's weird. No battle. Also, Bana Nice is the bomb. Plus many points for Bana Nice. Super good. And Claudine speaking random French was also real nice. Good episode. Weird episode. I think I've said that exact line a number of times. I need to stop. Okay, I think we'll call it quits there. I thought when we first ended the episode that maybe there wouldn't be enough to talk about and maybe I would end up watching another, but I think that we've found enough to talk about in this one that I want to leave it here and let it simmer because there will probably be more ideas inbound into my head over the course of the next week. So we will do just one episode this week, let it simmer, and we will move on to the next episode next week. I expect that we won't get 2 in a row without an audition. I wonder what that audition will be, and I wonder if it will be the jealousy that is building in the background, if that B plot will become our A plot soon. But I don't know, there is plenty that can happen here, and we could be treated to our first sort of duo review audition thing, if that's possible. I don't know if it is, but that seems to be what they're going to try, and it sounds like it would be really fun to shake up the formula and stuff. We'll see. In any case, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, Episode 4. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you have any thoughts on this episode, leave them in the comments. I will read them, and I'll read them gladly. And I hope to catch you next week for Episode 5. Peace.